Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Life Guru Rates. Today we will be rating the series Keeping Up with the Kardashian, and I will be rating the table manners of the Kardashian family. So please join me and let's start, let's watch. So I can see the first scene, which starts with drinking water. And we have two different types of ways to hold the water glass. And obviously the mom is holding the glass the way it should be, the correct way. It's a water goblet, which is actually just simple and easy to hold. You grab the bowl with your full hand, and there is nothing pretentious. But watching Kim, who is holding the water glass with an extended pinky finger, is just, it's too much, and actually it's rude. It reveals also a lot about people. She seems to think this is something of a sign of nobility or elitism, but it isn't. It is too pretentious, and this comes from the Middle Age time, where tea drinking has been used or held from aristocrats. They hold the teacup with their pinky finger actually curled and not extended. But this is actually a no-go nowadays. It's silly, it's pretentious, and she's doing that because she thinks this is the way I can show I'm cultured. Well, let's see whether she's also really cultured. Okay, let's go on. That's actually a perfect scene to show how you hold a wine glass. And what we can see here, we've got both examples. We have a red wine and a glass wine. And if one is in doubt, always hold the wine glass by the stem, which both do. But if you watch carefully, there is a difference. And that shows actually how both Kris and her boyfriend are actually classy in this scene and cultured. At least you think they have a complete education, because she holds her white wine glass by the stem, which is correct, and he holds the red wine glass by the stem as well. But if you watch carefully, his hands are a bit higher, so they are more closer to the bowl, which is the way you correctly hold a wine glass. And that's actually a very perfect example to showcase the two differences of holding the stem. One more, lower, and has the white wine glass has a longer stem, and red wine, you can hold it by the stem, but correctly it's closer to the bowl, and that's what the boyfriend did. Perfect. Let's go on. Okay, this is a scene in a restaurant, and we can see how Kim is eating her bread. And bread is correct. You should eat bread with the fingers, and you should break the bread in pieces, but bite pieces that are manageable and not big pieces as she has. And you can see really how she's chewing that with literally, obviously too big. And this is a restaurant scene, so I assume they are aware that they are not only filmed, but they also have people around them watching. So this is something that could be better. Let's keep on watching. I can see again Kim eating her bread by extending again the pinky finger, and I think it's really bizarre because she seems to do that again and again. I don't know what she thinks this should, showcase, or which sign she's trying to give us, but it's definitely not what she may think it is. It has nothing to do with elitism or nobility. It's pretentious. It's actually silly. It doesn't have the meaning people thought it has, at least at the time in the Middle Age when sipping your cup of tea. This isn't the case here. So I would recommend her to leave that. I would recommend anyone to leave that, because it is really pretentious and it has nothing cultured at all. And we are coming to the next scene, again, how to eat the bread. So in general, we break the bread with a hand. We can eat the bread, we should eat the bread with a hand, and you use butter knife to spread the butter on the piece of bread you've broken off, and again, small manageable bites to take one at a time. And I'm not really sure whether Kourtney was using a butter knife. It looked like a main knife, and like the knife for the main meal. So first of all, that's the wrong knife, but we don't know whether there was any butter knife available. But this is something you should actually expect in a restaurant as such. In something, these are just small details that, well, I see, but details exactly tell a lot, reveal a lot about one person's, background, personality, sensitivity. And I see Kourtney eating the whole time with the left hand, and I'm not sure whether she's left-handed, which will be acceptable, but actually eating with the left hand isn't something you should recommend, because we use the left hand to do other things but to eat, except you are left-handed. Again, I'm watching the same thing that happened to Kim. Kourtney is taking obviously a too big bite of a piece of bread, and I think even pulling on the bread and chewing with all the cheeks bloated, being full. That's not really ladylike, especially if you are dressed and styled from top to toe, but your table manners are signaling the opposite. It doesn't match. Something is wrong with the picture. And this is actually the case, what I always say about table manners. You are over the top, dressed, manicured, perfectly styled, but then when you start eating, you eat literally as if you are raised by the wolves. It doesn't match, and something is wrong with that picture. Okay, we have now another scene. This looks like a family meal, which is absolutely fine. You don't have to have those impeccable table manners at home, although I always recommend that. But in this case, you are filmed. This will be aired. You know that. You are again in the public eye and on the spot. And I see both siblings, first of all, having a very bad posture at the table, so slouched and literally hanging over the plate and the table, elbows on the table while eating. This is something you shouldn't. Elbows should be always off the table while eating. It's absolutely acceptable to have the elbows on the table, when you pause and you are having conversation. It gives you confidence, you feel good, you can sit like that and chat. But while eating, elbows should be really off the table. And you can rest, the wrists on the table, it's comfortable, or the lower underarm, but you shouldn't have the elbows at the table while eating. This is a very bad table manner one should try to avoid, even at home, in order not to have that happen when in public or eating around others or in a restaurant. And again, one little thing, I can watch Kris Jenner did the right thing. Once you take a seat or you're at the dining table, you take the napkin, unfold it, and put it on the lap. And she did that perfectly correct. This is again another, I think, family dinner, which is actually nice. Having family dinner is something people don't do nowadays anymore. And a family dinner reveals also a lot about the family vibe. And eating is not just, filling the belly. It's gathering together as a family, exchanging thoughts and having conversation, which is really nice. This is something they are always showcasing. But if you are in the public eye again, and this is something that's aired, you are a role model and you should really pay attention on, your behavior at the table. And they mostly, especially Kourtney, but also Kim, always chew and talk. This is something you shouldn't at all. Not as a parent, because you're a role model as a parent, not as someone, celebrity in the public eye, and not in a series it will be aired. And this is how people see you. And except they want to be seen like that. So chewing with full mouth and speaking is a no-go. It's actually not nice at all. This is a scene, seeing Kim licking the fingers. That's a no-go at all. Especially in a time like we have now, in a COVID era. And despite COVID, this is something you shouldn't do at all, and it's not ladylike. And being on the one hand, pretentious with the pinky finger, assuming it shows some culture, and then at the same time licking fingers when eating this is really embarrassing, and this is something she should avoid, at least in the public. So no licking fingers and no pinky fingers. That's something you should completely leave out. Bad behavior, bad table manners. Okay, let's continue. Oh, that's something I observe very often from Khloé, I think. She has the perfect manicured fingernails, but often chew on the fingernails or play with the fingernails. They are constantly somewhere near the mouth or in the mouth. I think this is maybe something she's not aware of, meanwhile, because she has adopted it in her daily life. That's something I would work on, because it doesn't look good. You are super styled, perfect makeup, perfect hairstyle, everything nicely styled and dressed, perfect manicure, and then chewing on them. Something is wrong with that picture. But I think and I hope it's just a bad behavior she has adopted, and hopefully can correct it. This is again another nice family dinner. I always see a perfect set table, so wonderful place setting, but the behavior doesn't align to this. People will say, okay, that's a family dinner, so maybe we shouldn't be too strict with the way they behave at the table. But on the other hand, it's not an informal place setting. They've decorated the table nicely. They have everything there, as I can see. They are filmed, it will be aired. And then on the other hand, Kourtney, she's having her son at the table. Perfect time actually to show, not tell, how to behave at the table. And she's showing exactly what you shouldn't do, namely waggling with the fork and knife, speaking again while chewing, and speaking with full mouth. That's something she does very often. Eating salad, chewing and talking, always with full mouth. But I have to say, those at the end of the table, I realize in the white shirt and yellow shirt, have really good eating manners in this case. So I can see how they are using the cutlery the correct way. And but Kourtney, waggling with the cutlery in front of her child isn't the best example to give as a parent. And you are a role model, if not to the public, then at least to your own child. Okay. And again, Kourtney, I really see Kourtney often eating with, both elbows on the table, or even holding the head while, eating. This is something, meanwhile, I have the feeling it's a habit, but it's a bad habit she should really correct. And if you are having a meeting or you are having a conversation, and while eating, then take small bites, finish chewing, and then talk. But I see her constantly chewing and talking with full mouth and holding the head while eating, or elbows at the table while eating, or even that way. That's really a bad habit that should be corrected. So please do not copy that. I see again Kourtney eating salad, with full mouth and talking. Kim, slouching. So they all have somehow bad body language while dining. And eating with the fork like that. I mean, we are not animals. On the other hand, you are showing you are cultured, you are styled. That's what actually bothers me the whole time. They are perfectly styled, but they don't know how to eat. They behave really badly at the table, and I can just hope they are not always like that. I can just hope this is not how, well, I'm not sure. The next thing is, again, watching. Oh, that's also something I wonder why Kourtney is doing that. Why do you hold the water glass or the cup that way? Why do you complicate things? You don't hold the water glass to drink like that. This is unnecessary. So what is it? Is it insecurity? Is it, I don't know. I don't know what's going through their minds, but I miss, the self-awareness and also the sensitivity. Having people around you and also knowing this is aired. Many people are watching this and you have a role model. So is it carelessness or what is it? That's something they really need to work on. So this is again another typical scene with Khloé having these beautiful nails and she's licking her fingers. Why? Why are you licking your fingers again and again? I mean, I understand she's enjoying the food. Eating French fries with the hands is perfectly fine. It's okay. It's a finger food. You can eat French fries with the hands. But licking the fingers, I mean, I understand if this is the way you want to show you are enjoying the food. But licking fingers in public, on air, in restaurants, isn't something you should really do. And I think there are 3 things I've observed in this family. So Khloé, the one always on the fingernails or licking the fingers. Kim, licking the fingers as well or speaking with full mouth, slouching and having both elbows at the table while eating. Although that's something all 3 do. Kourtney is constantly eating with full mouth and speaking with full mouth, chewing with full mouth, and slouching, having both elbows at the table while eating. These are all things I hope they can avoid, because I think these are bad habits they've just adopted. So I think we've seen enough dining scenes, and overall, I would say all in all, how will I rate the table manners of the Kardashian family? On the one hand, I think it's fabulous how they always gather together and have family meals, which is really, really important. And it says also a lot about the vibe of the family. One can really argue, are they having these meals, to communicate, which will be a great thing. But you can also use this opportunity to also, teach and have good table manners. And that's what I'm missing here. So overall, I will give them a 5 for their table manners. So their dining etiquette is something that can be improved, especially if you're a role model and you're in the public eye. And in general, people underestimate, eating skills. And that's why I'm actually showcasing this today, because there is a lot to read about someone at the dining table, and it's too underestimated, but so important. You can be perfectly styled, you can, have all the impeccable manners, but once someone meets you and dine with you and socialize with you at the table, one can reveal a lot about your background. And that's at the dining table. And if you are a parent, this is actually the perfect time to show your children how to eat properly, in order not to, that shouldn't happen what is happening now to the Kardashians as an adult. Because once you instill these good manners as a child, you do that automatically as an adult. You don't have to think too much, you don't appear stiff, insecure, but that's exactly what's happening with them as an adult. And as an adult, people will not tell you directly to your face, oh, she has bad manners. They'll talk behind you. And even more if you're a celebrity. So that's what I can tell you and give it, on the way. And as the saying goes, is she a lady inside and outside, or only outside? And I would like to end this episode with a quote from Oscar Wilde, who once said, "The world was my oyster, but I had the wrong fork." And if you work hard to build a brand, a personal brand, an image, don't allow something like that ruin it within 5 minutes. Thank you. I hope you loved it today, and I hope I can see you again for my next episode. Do not forget to subscribe and like, and I wish you a good day. See you again. Bye.